Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakak Kodash. I'm going to give double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone. Rule well, and salutations of much love to the rest of you sincere Akim, pushing the word in truth and sincerity. This is the Cleric Izar coming at you with another lesson. I am continuing in my lot to bring you my ongoing series from Excerpts of Hollywood, This Factory of Perverseness. Another observation of predictive programming, how art imitates life and vice versa. Just a reminder, the purpose of my videos is to show correlations. A correlation is an observation of a mutual relationship or connection between two or more things. I use movies to extract or extrapolate a narrative. I'm not glorifying the Hollywood culture or life. I have a wide knowledge of films, whether it be foreign or domestic, and I just use them as an example to bring out those similarities and those correlations. To quote Cecil B. DeMille, the greatest source of material for motion pictures is the Bible. I call this lesson, The Coming Arrows Will Not Be Broken, Part 2. The image I have on display is from a film I watched in my past. Of course, being this truth, I reflected on this particular movie. Okay, this is just a part 2. I captured a different image from this same film I used in my previous lesson for part 1. The date of this movie release was February 9, 1996. The title is Broken Arrow, directed by John Woo. Once again, I saw an image online of this where the tagline above the actual picture read, "The bomb in Broken Arrow was still described as the power of God. It is the nuclear power of God that seduces and brings about Air Force Major Vic Dickens' downfall." And I believe that Major Vic Dickens is played here by John Travolta. Okay, so basically, if you haven't heard my synopsis from the previous part 1 video, basically this film, a nuclear warhead or nuclear missile has been brought down. It was being flown from one destination to another, and it was brought down, and there are some people trying to steal it for their own means. Now, just to give you an idea of a regular arrow, arrow has the arrowhead, it has the stick in between, as well as the end where the like the feathers go, and so if the stick part is broken, you hence have a broken arrow, but it won't reach the destination because it cannot fly due to its losing its form. Okay, you have to have all those pieces put together: the arrowhead, the stick, as well as the back. I'm sure there's different names for it. I need to look them up and find out. I've always been fascinated by archery. Well, anyway. That's also the term that is used for a nuclear warhead that's not meeting its destination. If it falls or it's grounded. And even for a submarine that is equipped with nuclear weapons, that same thing that can happen. And wow, I've already thought about my next part 3 lesson as a result. So stay tuned for that. Okay. But basically, I got some scriptures of what I want to go into that's going to bring up the fact that they're using the arrows. Keep in mind, the Bible, some cases they are using, when they mention arrows, in some cases they are talking about the actual physical arrows used in warfare, but just not saying that nuclear missiles aren't used in warfare, but it's just a different terminology used or referenced in the scriptures. In some cases they are talking about the smaller arrows versus the real big arrows, which would be the ICBMs, which are intercontinental ballistic missiles, or the SLBMs, the submarine launched ballistic missiles. Okay, and we're coming to this because they're going to be used in World War III, and we're right at the doorstep of this coming war. Okay, so let me get into this. And basically, in this scene right here, he's John Travolta's character is talking over this particular warhead. Let's go into some scriptures. Jeremiah 51 verse 11, it talks about the judgment on Babylon, aka Babylon the Great, aka America. I'm going to read it here. Jeremiah 51 verse 11, for it reads, "Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord have raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes." Who are the kings of the Medes? It's going to be the Russians. "For his devices against Babylon, to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple." And let me go ahead and mention as well, even the visions that were seen by the prophets as they were looking at the missiles being launched and breaking the atmosphere and going into outer space and so forth, and then descending back down. The image that they saw, since they never seen anything like it before, it looked like arrows. Okay, I'm not sure if I mentioned in my first video, but I want to mention it at this time. And ultimately, this is the Heavenly Father bestowing this particular science onto the makers or the inventors. Okay, and so basically, it's all designed by the Heavenly Father. This science. If you just think about, the splitting of an atom. When I first was told what an atom bomb was and how it's created and what the blast comes from, it's just unbelievable. But hey, the Most High's thoughts are not our thoughts. Okay, but He is the one that created these things. How do we know that? Let's go in Isaiah chapter 54, and we're going to read verse 16. Isaiah 54 verse 16, for it reads, "Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy." Okay, and that's what these things do. They lay everything waste. These missiles, these bombs. Okay, if you can recall, if you haven't seen it, in the movie Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, there was a supernova that happened. The star had supernova, and basically Khan was imprisoned on this particular planet. He couldn't get off with his soldiers, and basically the planet was a paradise, but since the supernova, it shifted the orbit of the planet and it laid everything waste. And that's how Khan, played by Ricardo Montalban, he mentioned how everything was laid waste. And that's what these missiles are going to do. All right, they're the wasters. Okay, it's going to lay everything waste. And basically, when these bombs and missiles are dropped on AKA Babylon the Great and other places around the world, it's going to lay them waste. But specifically here in Babylon the Great, AKA America, it's going to be a desert from sea to shining sea. Okay, that's what happened also in Star Trek II: Wrath of Khan. SETI Alpha 5 was made to a total desert, and it went from a paradise to a desert. Okay, but a lot of people like to say, "Hey, you're sitting here speaking these prophecies out of the words of from the words of the Heavenly Father. What are you going to do so you're not taken apart in the same destruction?" And basically, being the hopeful elect, hoping that I'm the elect, humbly, the elect will be delivered out of this, but scarcely. So when these bombs and missiles are launched, I'm praying that the Heavenly Father sends His Son, and the Son will arrive in a what you people ignorantly call UFOs or UAPs. UFOs meaning unidentified flying objects, UAPs unidentified aerial phenomenon, but they're going to be in spacecraft. He will be with or flying saucers, I should say, and he will be with Michael the Archangel and the host of the angels. All right, to save the elect. All right, and which are also the righteous. 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 18 reads, "And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear?" Okay, and the righteous scarcely be saved because once the bombs are going off, the elect will be beamed up in those flying saucers or spacecraft. Okay, or the chariots of the Lord. Okay, but I'm going to end it on this. I always like to end my videos on a good note with some type of silver lining. There is light at the end of the tunnel. So in other words, there's a happy ending. Can't say there's going to be a happy ending for the 2/3 because only the 1/3 will be delivered in this climatic destruction. Okay, in Zechariah chapter 13 verse 8, it reads, "And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the 1/3 shall be left therein." Okay, so the 2 parts will be the 2/3 that are going to be cut off and died, along with the heathen nations. But the 1/3, along with the 144,000, 12,000 out of each tribe of Israel, which makes up the blacks, Native Americans, and Latinos. Okay, but the elect of that particular group, the small remnant, okay, is going to be delivered. Zechariah chapter 13 verse 9 reads, "And I will bring the 1/3 part through the fire." Okay, see that? The fire, that's going to be the fire from the nuclear missiles. "And will refine them as silver is refined." And because they're going to, the house of David is being rebuilt currently, and it's being tried. But the elect will receive new bodies. and descend from Jerusalem, or descend as New Jerusalem, Salakia, from the chariots of the Lord. All right, to basically enslave the heathens, specifically the banking elite. Okay, reading on, and I will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name. The name of the heavenly Father is Yahweh, and His Son is Yahweh Shai. And I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, who are the people, the chosen people, the people of Israel, which comes from the seed of Jacob, ultimately the elect of Israel. And they shall say, the Lord is my power. Okay. All right. I just wanted to bring that out. I didn't bring out the scriptures in the last lesson. And I think after going over this lesson, I think I've discovered what my part 3 will be. So I want to thank the Heavenly Father for that call, Allah, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai. And I just want to share that. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, who gives me the strength and the spirit to continue to strive and endure in these last days. Shalom to the hopeful elect, and on to the next video.